Hello guys, and welcome to something new. I'm doing a Slasher 2015 review on what happened and what you can expect in upcoming Slasher events. So I don't know if I'm doing a second season, that's what I'm asking you. This is the best of 2015. I'm just going to go over and discuss some of the scenes, some of the hidden stuff, what I would have done differently, and that sort of thing. But at first, we have the iconic President Obama speaking, and he's talking about the tragic murders at the college. I can't remember how many years ago, but I just love this scene. I took a long time figuring out how to do the filtery stuff. It was fun to record. I love doing the dramatic music in the background of it. It was one of my favorites. And right here is the party scene. I'm at the party, and Sadie, I think her name was, she's up at the top trying to fix the water heater, and then the killer sneaks up behind her, and he's like, blam, killed her. That scene took me so long to film because I could not get the mods to work, and I couldn't figure out how to get the killer to break that block perfectly. But I think this is personally one of my favorite death scenes I've ever done, because I don't know, from my twisted little mindset, I think that it is the best thing ever when blood starts pouring out of the water heater. And then the receptionist calls the police, and he's like, the receptionist calls the police, and he's like, oh, yep, there's a problem. I just loved that scene. And this one, I had fun with too. This one is at the crane where Oprah purposely, well, not purposely, at the time, drops the crate, killing the old reporter, her only competition, I may add, Cassandra. Luna, who was her intern, who was recording Cassandra outside of the new Rose building and construction. What was it? What? Then I had to do something about it. This is another scene that was that I thought was important. It's where Panda Zambi is talking with Jess, and they're going on, and they're talking a la-di-da, but someone's been watching them the entire time, and that person wasn't the killer. They were wearing some weird outfit that was similar. I don't know if I added in that scene, but that is what happened. And I go on and I just do some silly stuff around here. But if you see, there is Donnie Trump in the background right behind Jess. And if you look past the wine bottle, you can see Lachlan. In this series, I tried to incorporate like a lot of YouTubers and famous people and that type of thing. But like, if you want me to do another season of Slasher, please leave it down below in the comments. I think I'm gonna add a poll on this video so you can like vote and say if you want it. And then tell me who you think I should add. But anyways, this is the scene where Tom was just murdered and he was pushed off the building. And yes, I do realize I overdid it with the blood. Blood literally was everywhere. I just found out that, you know, it was fun placing these blood blocks as it looked like jelly stains and I put them everywhere. This is another scene that I like. This is where Miley Cyrus, Miley is talking with Panda Zambi and the receptionist. And she has a trail of syringes and bottles behind her that suggests that she was doing something that she wasn't supposed to.
Why was she there?
She doesn't sound completely sane.
Living there part-time.
And to get rid of her, they told her to go to some building. Little did they know that that building was not gonna have what they thought.
Okay.
Oh, and I really like the map that I used. The map, I honestly loved it. It's just so incredible. It's called Union Island, I think. I thought it was really good with the texture pack. It's just like spot on, perfect. Wow, I should have kept the audio files, but I didn't know that doing a narration voiceover thingy would, like, do this sort of thing. So, anyways, this is another scene I like. Miley shows up at the building. She's defensive, and she's like, I didn't kill nobody. Nobody wants to be killed. And MC Friedman's like, girl, you definitely are getting arrested. You need to go with me. Don't mess with me. And then for some reason the gun went off and it's like, pooh! Aha! It almost shot you in the head, didn't it? Ooh, Miley, you look scared, child. But I'm charging you with the murder of Tom and your fellow classmates. Or something like that. And then I was talking with Luna and she said that I was kind of weak and defenseless, so I decided that I would go buy a weapon with her. And Justin and crud, what's his name? Justin and some other name. I can't remember. Anyways, the guy next to Justin's like a mute and he's quiet. But anyways, I went to go buy weapons from Justin. He's totally not Justin Bieber. And the mute guy next to him, who I can't remember his name. And they were making fun of me because I was a pacifist and I told them I'd never have bought a weapon before. But what made it weird was the fact that instead of buying like a normal weapon like a bat or I guess a sword, because it is Minecraft, something like that, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna buy a crossbow, and you aren't gonna judge me for it. Oh, and if you didn't know, this is the Chinatown part of the map, which I found a little bit funny when I was recording it. And if you did see all the way through the slasher series, you know who the killer is. So, maybe you can... Oh, I'm gonna do spoiler alerts in this. So Luna's the killer, and she's with me when we went to go buy a weapon. And Luna has been hidden all throughout the series, doing her little things, and in weird little costumes that we should have probably assumed was someone who was part of the school. Oprah was involved, but that comes later. So right there, that's Luna who kills the mute guy, and Donnie Trump just happens to look out his window. He calls the police, but he doesn't feel that bad because he's Donnie Trump. He doesn't care about other people. And he sort of like laughs at the fact that this mute guy is dead and he's right outside his window, lying in the street, all bloody and stuff. And I do realize I used too much blood, but you know what? I tried. And the mute guy has this pumpkin on his head. And then there's this scene, which I didn't think anyone got. Luna is in the bathroom looking in the mirror, and she sees the killer behind her. That scene is symbolic, showing that she wasn't like in a good mental state. She was fighting like her second personality, the killer. Because they're like two identities, innocent girl Luna and the murderer. But anyways, this is a scene where Miley went to the church to beg for forgiveness, and the killer confronts her and kills her. And then he puts her body in the fountain. And he leaves a little blood trail so that the police or whoever's looking can find her. This is another scene that I enjoyed filming, and it took me a long time to figure out the lighting. This is a scene where I'm covered in blood and stuff, and I wander back to my hotel, and there's dead bodies and blood in every room around mine. And I'm sort of disoriented, and I don't really know what's going on. And there's a couple of the dead bodies. And then my room's barricaded from the last time that I thought there was a killer in there. So I have to push the drawers out of the way, and I put them back down. And my window's still broken, and the lights are flashing. And my knife is gone. So I just decide that I'm gonna go to bed. And just sleep away the troubles. Let's see what happens next. I wake up, and there's no blood on me. But in this is one of my favorite scenes, and I thought that a lot of people would like it. It's the scene where Donnie Trump is talking with Oprah. The killer sneaks up behind them, and he slashes Donnie in the back. To be fair, Donnie did have it coming, because no one liked him. I'm sorry that there was that weird audio cut. Something happened when I was doing my narrating thing. Just ignore that. This is a scene where the killer is talking with Oprah, and they start originally having problems. Throughout the series, if you remember, there was other scenes where this was happening. The killer and Oprah disagree a lot. When we get to the end clips, I can talk about that a little bit more. But I just loved this scene. I didn't turn on the lightning, I didn't turn on the rain, they just came naturally, and I thought they added to the atmosphere that needed to be there for when the murderer did his slashing and hacking and all sorts. Again, this was one of my favorite things to record. This scene. Look, right next to Panzambi on the far left, there's someone in a costume. That costume is an iconic costume that the killer has worn in all of them. That's Luna. This is after Luna allegedly had died. But someone in a costume was sitting next to me, and Panzambi didn't realize it at the time, and Luna's dead body was in the picture up there behind the priest. However, when we cut to our next scene, you'll see exactly why that costume is so important and something that you should have noticed.
Jack and Miley.
Come on, get to the next scene. But anyways, there's like there's the last remaining students here. There behind me is, to my right is Mrs. Flora, who died, and then behind me is Taylor, and Taylor died, and I don't remember who. Oh, then there's Sapphire there. She also died. Yeah, there was a lot of death in this series, but it is called Slasher, so to be fair, it should have been expected. But when I ended this, there was surprisingly a lot of people from the class still left, so I can do some stuff with those people. And, oh, and Adeline's there. And I was sad, but Adeline unfortunately did meet her demise. I don't know why I gave so much time to talk about this, but apparently I did. Let's talk about some of the characters then. Adeline, I use her in I try to use her in MC Friedman, like in every other series I do. They're two iconic characters on my channel, so look out for them. Adeline is currently in my Ninja in Training series. She's also been in Panda's Kingdom. She's been in... What else has she been in? Oh, I think Adeline... No. Never mind. And this is Adeline's death scene. Before my animation software broke. It's a little cheesy scene of it. Adeline dying. And the fountains turn to blood. There's blood everywhere. In this little hedge maze that we went through. And I'm still mad that my coffee was cold by the time that I drank it in this... Remember the coffee I had when we went into the maze that I gave everyone? She just didn't drink all of her coffee. She deserved to die. And anyways, this is another dispute between Oprah and the killer. Well, Oprah technically was the killer. She killed Mrs. Flora, and we don't know how many of the other people she actually killed. But they're having a fight. This is one of the big fighting scenes between the killer and Oprah. The killer has had enough of Oprah in her ways, and she's done. So Luna, the killer, decides that she's not gonna go and be with her stepmother anymore. She's leaving. This is the detention scene that I loved because they gave me detention because I was drinking a Frappuccino in Minecraft, and they're like, no, you can't have a Frappuccino, PandaZambi. How dare you? You're an awful person. Stop sipping it so loudly. And for some reason the coffee went to my head, and I was aggressive, and I wouldn't listen to my teachers, which is never a good idea in school. MC Friedman had a gun in his hand. Mrs. Flora was trying to control me so I wouldn't make her look bad. And little did you know, I got detention, and so did everyone else in the class, because apparently I was bad. And it was getting detention that screwed a couple students over. Sorry, Taylor in the back, you will be missed. Sorry, Sapphire on the left side, you will be missed. I don't remember everyone who died, but the people who did, I feel bad. As you can tell, that it was sort of my fault that I got everyone detention. Oh, and if you look right now, there's Angelina, there's Angela. In the front row, there's Austin, there's Bruno, there's Bella, there's Charlie, then there's Lachlan, Justin, Sapphire, Sam, I believe his name was, Tyler, Rob, sorry, Taylor, and then me, of course, and I'm still arguing about my Frappuccino, because it was a good Frappuccino, and I paid good money for it, and they're just jealous haters who think that they know everything about Frappuccino life. Well, they don't, because I, Frappuccino, know everything. Oh my god, I can't believe I made that joke. But anyways, yeah, so this happened. It wasn't ideal, to say the least, but it happened. And this is the scene where Miss Flora is killed by the oncoming minecart, and Oprah is mad at Miss Flora for taking her man, and she took the ring off Miss Flora's dead body because she's mad that Miss Flora messed up the plan. Well, what was Oprah's plan? We heard from Luna that this was revenge for having her biological mother get killed, but we don't know why Oprah would want me killed. In this scene, Sapphire is talking on the phone with her dad, who's MC Friedman. The killer is in the stall behind her.
Are you okay?
Luna, the killer,
should I come over there and help you? Of course you should. I just said there's a killer with
the killer's
all of the doors.
Okay, I forgot. Luna waits a little while, listening in to their conversation until she has the perfect time to sneak out and stab Sapphire.
Are you okay? Hello?
This
Sapphire?
is also
Sapphire?
a very important moment
I think he's behind
because it shows the panic in MC Friedman's voice. And when he's on the phone talking about his daughter Sapphire, he is panicked. And this is originally
Are you there?
what tells the police,
Hello,
hey,
Sapphire.
look over
Sapphire,
there,
answer the phone.
you need to go to the school because your daughter Sapphire, who is a good girl,
Sapphire?
is missing.
Sapphire?
She's gone.
Sapphire,
We don't know what
now.
happened to her.
Don't worry, I'm gonna come
And
there and
if
help you,
I was
Sapphire.
MC Friedman, I would personally be devastated because I would
break down the
assume
doors if I had
killers
to.
on the loose,
Sapphire?
that only the worst could have happened. This is the scene where I'm locked in the theater room, and the killer is showing me clips of the past, so I remember the stuff I need to figure out who it was. Luna was showing me the video of the President Obama, talking about what was wrong, what not to do on Halloween, and that type of stuff. I don't judge my timelines in this series. We don't know why Obama would have been president for, I think the deaths happened 7 years ago, So technically that means that he would have been only elected for like 1 year. So, problems, I guess, because he's been elected for 2 terms and that's a total of 8 years. But anyways, this is one of the scenes where he's talking, he's going blah 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 blah. Hey look, we have a problem, don't go out on Halloween, you stupid kids, or you're gonna die. And what happens? We didn't listen, and the first death happens, and that is Sadie. And it's tragic, but it needed to happen. Let's just jump into the next scene. Come on. Jump into the next scene now. 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 Come on. Now. Now. You know you want to jump into the next scene right now. I guess I'll be quiet until the next scene happens. It's not like I wanted to get to the... Okay, there we go. This... Oh, yeah, Ty died also. Ty died. For some reason he died and there's a chandelier on top of him. His dead body was found. My music and audio was off on these videos, so you can't hear me talking. But what happened was you were supposed to hear me confused and wondering how the dead body even got in there, considering that I didn't even know how to get out.
This is a trail of blood.
This is one of the most important things to understanding why Luna's the killer. Luna refused to go with us out exploring in the forest because she had family matters. I'm with Jess, Adeline, and Rob. I followed the blood trail, and I was confused because at this time I was just a little kid and I didn't know what was happening. But after following this blood trail, it led us to a brush. That same brush and comb, those were found at that same brush and comb, those were found at the college when I was wandering around. Didn't think you noticed that. And this is Luna in her original murdering costume. She's talking to her stepmother, Oprah. That's an important detail. Like mother like daughter. They both are killers.
The teacher gave me an F
and she's
on
talking
the
about how she killed the teacher,
and I didn't have a choice.
and how she's nervous that we'll catch on and figure out it's her, and she's trying to get her mother to bail her out of trouble. However,
because I'm not a killer.
For Luna,
Mom,
she's a little bit snobby. She's like, I've killed before, blah 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 blah.
Fine.
And her mother is sassy, and she's like, don't worry, I'll help you. And then this is the scene where I tried to save her mother from a house fire, and then something exploded and it sent the whole house off. And look at that costume that girl is wearing. That is Luna.
Dead.
But I couldn't tell because I couldn't see her face. In the same costume that was worn at the vigil for Luna and all the other allegedly dead people.
I have no place to
and that was the same costume that was at the diner when I was talking with Jess. This is Luna's temporary costume that she wears to throw people off of who actually is doing the killing and how many killers there are. In this scene, Luna's looking down at me right after she chopped up Sapphire.
For the murder. I planted enough evidence to
Wait, no.
Sure you were locked
I'm pretty
away.
sure it's Sapphire. And
But
she's going
don't
on, and
test
she's
my
talking about
boy.
how
I know
I
exactly
needed to
what you're
pay
like.
for killing her mother, her
You
biological
let my mother
mother,
explode in that building.
and how her mommy,
You deserve to die.
Oprah, helped cover it
You
all
found
up.
the dead body of the teacher. Well, good for you.
And she said that she
messed
called the
with the
police,
murderer.
MC Friedman, on me
And the thing,
because
all of
she
it
had
was able to be covered
progressively
up until now by my
been
loving
collecting evidence that would make me
stepmother,
look incriminated, like
Oprah.
incriminating evidence
So enjoy.
against me.
You deserve
At this state, Luna's completely messed up and psychotic, and she's hell-bent on revenge.
When there's a murder on the
and there's no stopping this axe killer.
Never
except for when she comes up to my face, threatens me, and then leaves so I can face the sentence. So they put me in an insane asylum, but they didn't check their lights. So I was able to break through one of the lights in the floor, which just happened to lead outside. And when I fell, I landed on a security guard, which knocked my vest, my restraining jacket loose, and I was able to run off into the distance.
So long, insane asylum.
And this is the part where I run off and enjoy my freedom. But now, since this is approaching the end of this video, I'd like to ask you, would you like a season 2? Who would you like to be in it? And what do you think will happen in the next season, if there is going to be one? And who should I add?